Alright. More Kerbal Space Program. Time to get this going. Sure. Yep, audio's good. Game audio's good. Chat's good. Fantastic. Alright. I need to do this satellite mission I talked about doing at the end of yesterday. So we need an unmanned probe, mystery goo, and materials bay. Okay, got it. I have something in mind for this. Use probe bus B. Make some replacements here. For starters, we're going to use different antenna. Don't need the thermometer. I need the press bat. We do need that lovely materials bay. Put more batteries on. I'm going to kind of clip them into the center a little bit, which I always felt looked better anyway. Puts it under the solar panel. Okay. Make this 3 solar panels. Alright, that looks good. Now the antenna. Our antenna's not going to reach. Those simple ones anyway won't reach. This will. Which I guess I could put here. It's kind of goofy right there. Okay, that seems more reasonable. So I'm just going to be short fueling this bus a little bit. I'm going to put some fuel tanks maybe under here. Alright, that should do. Makes it a 2-ton probe. It's not bad. So a 2-ton probe to Duna. Let's take that fairing off. I'll throw this guy on there. Because now what I want to try and do I want to try and make this a relay. Oh my. Those are quite big. Those are really quite big. Okay. Really big shoe. The problem is angling them like that. Okay. It's a little better. Yeah, let's angle them like that. Let's move these retro rockets. They would have to be further down like this. These would be nice and tight in. Like that. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Oop, nope. Didn't want to mess that up. There we go. Okay. Let's actually kind of adjust that a little bit. Rotate it out a little bit. Okay, not the way I wanted to rotate that. There we go. Alright. So the idea is I want this to be a kind of functional relay left behind. How are we doing on battery options here? We get one of these guys. It's really gonna work for that though. Let's figure that out in a second here. Because this is inevitably going to need a larger fairing than I was otherwise going to use. So this is going to be helping me decide what vehicle I'm going to put this on. Okay, we just need more batteries. Okay. Perfect. This becomes a quite heavy payload, I bet. Yep. 9.6 tons. So, I'm going to probably go ahead and put this on a pretty heavy rocket. We're going to go... Yeah, Centurion Heavy might be what I want. This is a little ridiculous for launching essentially a 2-ton payload. However, it's probably a really good idea. I am forgetting something pretty important, though, and that would be solar panels of this stage here. So our little de facto relay can do its thing. Okay, yeah, this might do. Might do. This is probably going to be overkill. That's what I'm hoping. So let's set up the staging correctly so I can actually see how much this is overkill. Okay, then that drops. Second stage engine will fire. And then, of course, this guy right here will do its job. I don't know why I feel like doing that. I don't really need those. I'm going to be leaving it as a relay anyway. Okay, I think that'll do. Figured out where we should be anyway, in a pretty good position for a Duna launch, so I wanted to make sure I got this out of the way. And then we want to do we should actually be in perfect position almost. No, we're like 20 minutes past perfect position. Oh, that's not fun. We've only got 3 hours till our relay is due in. Our satellite there is due in. We'll have to just leave this on the launch pad for a minute. I could just settle with not launching perfectly, I guess. We're about 20 minutes late for the ideal launch for a direct shot to Duna. Centurion should be plenty for this. Booster cutoff is going to be very soon. Okay, still accelerating. It's a good sign. And I'm heading off for Duna, so I'm not gonna bother getting a orbit. We're just gonna go for escape velocity. We're heading roughly prograde. Be ditching the fairing soon here. Actually take a slight retrograde angle. There we go, fairing deployment. Now in space, so no sense waiting to deploy solar panels and the like. Second stage. Oddly gonna extend these antenna into the into the dishes. Didn't realize that was gonna be a thing. I don't know if I necessarily need to extend those yet. Hopefully they don't get destroyed when I do separation there. So as I said, we're going straight for escape velocity. And we should be going roughly in the prograde direction. I'm going to aim us just a little more retrograde just to make sure that's what we're doing. Yeah, this is not getting as much speed as I thought this was going to get here. I thought this was going to be slightly more overkill. There we go, independent solar orbit. Because we launched where we did, we actually raised our apogee, our solar orbit apogee. So that is actually a good thing. Almost no inclination difference going to Duna. So this would put us past it. We want to go burn right about there. Perfect. Okay, so now we got a well-planned maneuver in 62 days. That is looking good, actually. Well, I need 875 meters per second of delta V. So that looks very good. Okay. Alright. Now I think I can get away with, even though these aren't like direct, one thing I don't know is, can this antenna relay through the relay down? Or do I really need to have the direct antennas as well? I don't think I do. I'm going to gamble. Because it looks silly and it shouldn't have to do that. I'm going to retract those for now. So then when I do separate, it should then relay through these to get signal, and then I should be able to deploy those in theory. Then I don't have to worry about things breaking. But pretty cool, pretty cool. 62 days away from a Duna encounter burn. Pretty happy about that. Let's head back though. And let's go and time warp through our Minmus satellites that we have getting into orbit. Those are going to be our key vehicles at the moment. Which would be this guy right here. It's got its MUN encounter in 3 hours, 3 minutes. This one's got its MUN encounter in 4 hours, 55 minutes. So, very good. These two satellites are going. Yep, this one's the gravity detector. This one's looking good. So just time warp those few hours. Okay, so now I'm starting to finally get an idea of what orbit I need, and I actually need to be going the other way. I need to be orbiting the other direction. So this is going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. A small one. However, Minmus gravity is so low, it's really not going to be too much of an issue. So I'm going to start by getting the perigee about where it belongs. so I'm not wasting fuel on this burn. And we can do inclination change later and start straightening this guy out here. It's going to be 304.5 meters per second. We've got 899 in this stage still. So I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm just going to keep the stage that we have. Which is the Tacurian upper stage, the Tacurian E upper stage. Which is doubling as the transfer stage. It's calling this a 14-second burn. I guess that is right. Duna satellite's on the way, though. That makes me a happy man. Make sure everything's actually functioning. I did finally increase the resolution of the stream, which is good. If I can actually not hiccup through my talking. Finally bumped it up to 1080p, which I should have been able to do this whole time and just didn't know I had a $2 fix for internet. And away we went. So now I'm ugly in higher resolution. Okay. Waiting till about 7 seconds away from the maneuver node. That's when we're going to hit full throttle. There we go. A little bit of an undersized engine for that burn, but saved us a good amount of money using this Terrier engine. And that was the whole point of the Decanis E, was to save money. And it did still work at the end of the day. So we got an ascending node here. We're going to need to then do a descending burn. Nope, because we're going the other way, so bingo. Gotcha. Got it. We're going to do some retrograde to level that out here. Try and get these coplanar. It's not exactly, I think, where I want to do the burn. Okay, that's not at all where I want to do the burn. I want to do the burn here. Okay, that would put us in the right plane, at least. We'd want to do some radial shift. Then a descending node, that puts us the right altitude. more or less. Let's put periaps at the right place. Or apogee at the right place. That might be the smarter thing to do. Let's put apogee at the right place. Plan this maneuver carefully. Because it is going to mess up my inclination when I do that. Because we're doing everything with one big maneuver. So now we're going to be too high by a little bit, so flatten that out. Okay, much smaller change now. Slowly back and forth. There we go, till we get something close. Very good. Now, where is this other probe? There's another probe that's supposed to be in mid-capture at the moment. And where is it? Don't like when it does this. Okay. That's really annoying. So I'll cut back over. Try and pull up the second satellite and make sure the second satellite does its capture burn. I don't even remember what the second satellite is, to be honest. Let me see. Is this my guy? It is my guy. Alright, that's what we're flying. Oh. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I am being dumb. So, I don't need this one. This probe to get into this orbit. That's for this probe. And that's why... Oh, that's why I have this one approaching different. Okay, yeah. Yep, I was being dumb. Happens. It happens. So now this time, once again, we're going to be very careful and make sure we're heading the right direction. Sure would have been smart to realize that sooner. This needs a 55-second burn? That's not right. Better, 9-second burn. This has the more powerful Optio second stage. Same amount of fuel, slightly better engine. So a little bit of time warp. This time about 5 seconds away from the maneuver, so we're going to hit full throttle. So that was us going into a suborbital trajectory and then back to orbit in the opposite direction. It's very easy to do that in Minimus because you're not going that fast in orbit. Okay, so this is the satellite I now need to try and do these maneuvers with. And this one's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So ascending node. And wrangle that in quite a bit, and then also angle it the way I want it. Which thankfully Minimus gravity will make this nice, easy. And I'm going to do that with 2 burns because I wasted all that time doing the maneuvers in the last one that we don't now need to do, and that's kind of frustrating. I will do a little bit of a radial shift just to put perigee where it belongs. Or not really where it belongs, I guess, but in a better spot. Maybe if I just think, how do I want to do this? Second maneuver. Oh, that would be a earlier maneuver. I knew that. I knew that. So I actually want to burn right here. Okay, that would get us on the right plane. It's pretty good. Let's try to make it more circular. Try and work with that burn, I guess. Now that also means that this one I need to delete that node because I don't need to do that burn. So this one we're not doing that. This one we can lower our perigee significantly. Bring this into very tight orbit because this one's going to be doing our gravity scans. That should do. Nice, safe orbit. Okay. So that maneuvers in 1 day, 2 hours. The maneuver for this satellite, which is the contract satellite, this one's in 3 days. So yeah, definitely this other one can go first. That's just a little bit in front of the maneuver. Really wanted that closer to the maneuver here. Okay, perfect. Flip it around. Get it ready for the burn. Only a 2-second burn on this. So I'm going to put it down to 50% throttle. Again, why I was willing to cheap out and go with the Terrier instead of the Cheetah. All right. There we go. Nice tight orbit. All right. I can try and get to some of these gravity scans while we wait on this other satellite here, now that we're going to be on a nice tight orbit. So all these are above scans, which makes me very happy. These should be easy to grab. So I'm going to start with these ones. And I might have to just slightly adjust that maneuver as Minmus spins. Actually looks pretty good. A little bit of an adjustment. Just using up still this lower stage. I'm not even on the satellite's own power yet. Might as well use it if I have it. And it will be able to deorbit itself for sure. If not, it might be actually a little bit overkill to deorbit it around Minmus, which is actually a concern of mine right at the moment. That would not be fun if it just put itself back into an orbit. Okay, so that looked good. Excellent. So we should pass over those two gravity scans. We can make another tilt when we get to here, thereabouts, possibly at this maneuver. At that node. Yeah, I might be able to just do that next. Something along those lines. We should be going over this spot shortly, though. We're going to have this problem again. Running out of battery. Shoot. Okay, well, it is for contract, so I can basically cancel it, I think. I don't think I even need to transmit the... Yeah, but at least marked it. Just need to record it. I don't need to transmit it. That's disturbing. Is there any way to... So those are tucked in there so well. Can't really do much with them. Oh, that's right. They turned off my SAS when the batteries died. They turned it off. So let's see. It's just getting really poor sunlight. Well, it won't even let me select these antennae to actually get them to transmit partial. So, what happens if I really want to know, if I recycle the experiment, do I still get the credit? Did already check the box, so it is probably fine. It's getting 70% there. That is annoying. I could probably reach in there and change that setting. If I didn't have this stage still on. That's fine. Still gave us credit for it, so we're going to just proceed like that. Now entering the next area. Do our grav scan. And reset it. How much electric charge do I have on this? 210? That's pretty lame. Not gonna lie. Alright, now we need to figure out where our next burn needs to be and by how much. Basically right on top of it. So we're going to do a 2-second burn. Make it a 4-second burn so it's easier to time. So 2 seconds out. There we go. Alright, we're now heading for the next gravity scan. In the correct zone. Okay, I'm gonna trash that again, unfortunately. Once more, do another burn here to get over that next zone. It's many small inclination changes. Is there a mining expedition down there? It's kind of cool. It's time warp up to our maneuver. Do our maneuver, or start the burn 2 seconds from our maneuver node. I started that early. That was bad. Didn't mean to do that. Hit the wrong key. Alright. We should be going right over that next gravity objective. So we're going to log that, keep it, and then trash it. There we go. We just need one more, which is going to be the challenging one. In theory. What I need to do there we go. Okay. Alright, that should do the trick. That is going to be a larger maneuver. That we're going to need full throttle for. Time warp up to that. We're going to be looking at a 7-second burn. Nope, missed my window. Okay, that's fine. Literally, that maneuver stomping our orbit cold and orbiting in a new direction. That was a very, very extreme maneuver. Okay. Just a little last minute correction. Time warp up to that. Get this last gravity scan. I really should have put a temperature scanner on this. See, this is now way off. So let's anticipate that a little more this time. Maybe not quite that much. Like that, maybe. I still think that's overkill. go. That should do. So now a 2-second burn. If I have time, which it looks like I do, I can position it, throttle it down to 50%, make it a 4-second burn that's easier to time. Excellent. There we go. And that should put us to the last gravity zone. Yep. What we needed to check. Just I'm going to try radio off. I kind of actually like polar orbits for scanning, so what I'm going to do, because I need to be able to get to the radio transmitter base, is I'm going to aim prograde. We're going 156 meters per second. It is a big stage. I'm thinking we might be okay. I don't think it's going to like create a second orbit or something in the other direction. I hope. Now I can reach these antenna. Allow partial on all of them. See if our little booster did what I hope it's going to do. Yep, it's just about perfect to deorbit it. Excellent. It did start to orbit a little bit in the other direction from the looks of it. It's now heading that way down towards min-miss. But okay, now that I've got require partial or allow partial on, let's try sending this data out. Okay, excellent. We at least got some science out of it. Okay, so now we can actually do science-y scans with it, which is good. I'm trying to figure out what the best recharge rate I can manage with this is. $374, $381, $36. Looks like $386 is maybe the best. Okay, now on this axis. Another gravity scan. I don't necessarily have to go too crazy about that because I should have gravity detectors on our landers when I finally do fix our lander design. And it'll be a better way to get science throwing it together on the base first. If I ever get the base made. Okay, let's see. Where is our other satellite? Still a good ways out. No. Let's see what else we can get done over at the Space Center. Since we did just close out a contract. See what new contract opportunities have arisen from that. Recover from the surface of Mun. How do you recover? That blows my mind. I'm not even sure how I would attempt that. Gravimetric surveys of Ike. Ike is Eve's moon? No. Ike is Duna's moon, I think. And we're in position for Duna. God, I hope I'm right about that. I could just check it. I think I will check it and then I'll come back to that. I'm going to take this one. This is a satellite orbital adjustment. Let's go to science and development. Number one, we can spend our funds. Get the ion propulsion technology that I wanted. So that's pretty handy. Tech tree's looking nearly full. Oh, there's another thing I wanted. Archives. So Duna. Yep, Duna's moon is Ike. Wow, I really wish I knew that. I would have put a I could have put a gravity detector on the probe we just sent. That's cool. Not gonna worry about that. Let's instead we do have a little relay on that first one that I now don't have to worry about on this one. We can go ahead and take our 1-ton probe bus, and we're going to make a modified version of this. Tired. Okay. So take our 1-ton probe bus. We're not going to be able to use this solar design. I have this new Octo 2. I'm going to throw a bunch. Don't even know why I bothered to keep this design because I'm just throwing everything out. Because that has to go. Throw some xenon on there. And our little ion engine. With 13,602 Delta V. If I get enough enough goodies on there, enough solar panels. So let's put some solar panels on there. This could just be ridiculous. I could just completely absurd level if I wanted to. How expensive are those? They're expensive. And they're heavy. It's not the greatest idea. These, though, are light and cheap. And I don't think I need really that many. I think probably 4 of these would be enough. Does it really tell you? I'd like to see what kind of power it actually consumes. Propellants, electric charge, 8.74 per second. Outputs 1.6. Wow. It's not good. So to keep constant thrust, I would actually need like 8 of these. Still cheaper than one of the huge ones. Okay. And then for communications, this is slightly heavier. Stretched version. There we go. Not bad. Now we need our Grav Max. So we're going to be sending this thing off to Ike. There we go. Now it's centered. Okay, so send that off without really much hassle, it looks like. Even fits in the same fairing. Alright, so this is going to be lots of money. This is going to be expensive. Now, we don't necessarily need an expensive rocket. I'm actually going to get rid of this. Don't necessarily need an expensive rocket in order to do this. Because this is very light, and I found out we were doing way overkill in the last one. So, an Optio medium might be able to do the trick. But what might be smart is to use an Optio heavy. Yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do. So we're going to throw an aerodynamic shroud. To protect this. So that protects the probe. We're going to still make a stretched version of the second stage tank, since this is supposed to be launching about 11 tons. Instead it's launching 1 ton. So I think we can put really like a full-size stage here. All right. So realistically, that means that I've put 5 tons of extra fuel along with maybe 2 tons, so 7 tons, and I'm trying to get this to escape velocity. So yeah, I guess that's really not so bad. What I want to now do, though, pull these off. So whatever excess fuel is in this stage, I'm going to try and use to deorbit itself. So I throw trash into the sun for the first time. Why not? Why not, right? So, fixing the staging, put all the boosters on the first stage, along with the single Bobcat engine. Unlike the Centurion, the Opti only has 1. Alright. And we need booster separation be second. Fairing separation should be third. Second stage engine plus separation should be next after that. Okay, engine and separation here, and then the ion engine is last. All right. Now, because the other satellite still has another day till it gets to its maneuver, I am going to go ahead and time warp this to the ideal launch time, if necessary. Oh, nope, didn't mean to even click that yet. Oh, God. I wanted to click on this. Okay. But actually, that just time warped us to the correct time. Okay. Okay. Huh. That's not the result I expected of accidentally time warping. Yeah. Okay. Happy accident. Off we go. So this time using the cheaper Optio booster. Setting off into a rising sun. Booster separation should be a little past 10,000 meters. So we get a little more out of our solids than we do with the Centurion because of the overall lighter rocket. Better acceleration. Boosters separate. Boosters blow themselves up, which is always entertaining. Alright, we continue to accelerate. It's going to head straight up. Accelerate as much as possible. And get us on escape velocity. "50,000 meters is where I'm going to drop the fairing. Fairing's now separated. start extending our antenna so we don't lose radio contact. Unlike the last Duna launch, we are not going to have any kind of relay system built into this one. I'm just going to try to reuse the relay system built into the last one while we're deploying solar panels. We should see... Really should just upgrade the VAB and make this a action group or something. Okay, perfect. Second stage now kicks in. So now second stage needs to get us to escape velocity. I will use it for a single burn for a Duna rendezvous, or an Ike rendezvous is what we're really aiming for. And from there on out, I will be switching it over to ion propulsion, and hopefully sending this booster back into the sun, unless I have a ton of excess fuel, in which case I might keep it and smash it into Ike. I just realized this is a bad solar panel design as well for burning prograde or retrograde in in a solar orbit. It's okay. Should be fine. Really will be used in Ike's orbit anyway, not solar orbit. Okay, escape velocity. Still have a lot of delta V. Wow, okay. We did pretty much the same as the last satellite we set out on its way. We are going to need to set Duna as our target. Very minimal inclination difference here. That doesn't make any sense now, does it? There we are. This one's got a maneuver coming up in 18 days. This one's actually really coming up. Wow. Okay. Don't know where our last launched guy is. Oh, is it this one? It is this one. Still hasn't fully escaped yet. Back to showing like it's not going to escape, which is a tad bit confusing. Just gonna make sure it is achieving escape velocity. Yep, it is. It's just the way it shows it. That's bizarre. Okay. Not bad. So we got one heading to Duna, one heading to Ike. So really both heading to Duna anyway. That's pretty darn cool. Let's focus view on Minmus. Let's see how our Minmus probe is doing. Where is it? It is still a good while away from its maneuver. So I will attempt to time warp it. Oh, I know what I could do. I got the, yeah. I've got the modified orbit. The K3G3, which is this guy. Wait a minute. K3G3 Pro Bus B. Yep. That's that guy. And you want me to be doing what? This one? Really? Really? Oh. It's gonna try and make me do this one. Oh. Yeah. Shoot. Shoot! Okay, so let's get to this one first, and then I need to then all over again try to get it to another orbit. This is going to be one very busy satellite. I just time warped a lot. This is not where the maneuver should be done. It should be done right there. And it needs to be done like, whoop, oop, went and wrecked it. Inclination just right. And then I'll worry about other maneuvers. Frustrating. All right. Now, right about here, our orbits are crossing paths with the intended orbit. So we are going to very radically adjust our orbit here. Probably not that radically. That's looking a little better. That's looking actually really good. Just a little more. I can almost do it. Actually, a little bit more inclination change needs to be done at that point, too. And then things are really solid. Okay. One final maneuver. Should close out one contract, and I could start working on the second one. It's going to be one very busy probe. I got to give these probes real names, too, so I know which one I'm actually looking at, other than just which probe bus it's based off of. Okay, that should be just about dead on. It's like we overshot it by just the tiniest amount. Cool. Okay, so we did get contract complete by the looks of it, which would be, where is it? This one. Position it in synchronous orbit of Minmus. Alright, and then we get to do really crazy adjustment. We need to take this here. We're going to correct the inclination. Do some radial adjustment so we can try and get this perigee at least close. Let's just do that. And at perigee, I'll just go ahead and set up a proper oh, that's right. Reverse direction. Reverse direction. Okay. Which actually means descending node's coming up pretty soon. I'll have to wait till ascending node to do this. So let's see. Descending node would be right there. Nope. Right there. Why does it keep putting it on that side of the orbit? I don't want it on that side of the orbit. Okay, good enough. Okay, nope, I'm again being dumb. I am already past that point. Why would I try? Okay. Steve, you're not doing too good right now. You're not batting 1,000 here. So, again, This one looked good. So we're going to get that inclination done. Then at this intersect, that is where we're going to do our radial shift and our prograde. Oh, and we need to completely change direction as well. That's why this is messing me up. Okay. And we're just going to do this. And change the radial once more. Wow, for just very angrily just snapping through those maneuvers, I kind of did that exact very quickly. Alright, that is going to be a, okay. That's going to be a 35 meters per second maneuver? How is that possible? Okay, whatever. Oh, the next maneuver is. Doesn't say anything about that one. Okay. Find out when we get there. So we're going to have a 12-second burn. No, we're not. We're going to have a 1-second burn. Try and correct this. Actually was pretty dead on. Next one's 164 meters per second delta V. So we're just a little off. So we need to just do a little more retrograde. And that would be pretty much dead on. So we're going to have a 5-second burn. Retrograde. Well, mostly retrograde. Thank goodness it's mid-miss. Any other body that we'd be trying to orbit, we would not have enough fuel to do this. This kind of maneuver is insane. It was us deorbiting and reorbiting. Went too far. Went too far. There we go. Adjusted orbital mid-miss. We got it. Okay. Now let's go retrograde again. Our periapt's way down. I want to try and use this for some science experiments as well. Warp here will be going quite fast. We'll not have enough to accelerate us. Whoop. All the way to impact. Yes, we will, apparently. Curious. Okay, we're going to deploy this thing, a slower section here into Minmus, hopefully. Hopefully not enough to reverse the orbit. Note the nice spin I put on that thing. And yeah, okay, it did work. So it is going back to an impact with Minmus. Excellent. Now what I could do with this, I could land it and try to get a materials-based sample, because I don't have a lander with a materials-based sample. I might consider that. I might actually go in for a landing on this thing. For now, I'm going to leave it in low orbit. See if I can't get any other science experiments out of it. Or any more contracts, I mean. Science experiments are going to be limited. I'm just going to have the one. Landing is a possibility, though. Try and get the most out of that craft as we can. Build a new orbital station around Kerbin, which I would, in other words, just be using this to upgrade our existing station. What does it need? Facility supporting at least 8 Kerbals, 2 pilots on station. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, I actually have another idea. I'm going to do that one. So let's do that. Let's build a small station. I think I can do this, like, really do think I could do this single launch. So it needs 8 Kerbal. So 3 will be covered by sending up a craft with 2 pilots on it. So I really only need this to be able to handle 5. So there's 3. Just need 2 more. I know how I'd do that as well. Let's do some neat structural bits, just make this look nicer. There we go, Rockomax brand 2 adapter. Okay. Have some Clampetron regular ports on here. If I could actually figure out how the heck to put them on here. Or I could just not be stupid and realize that I have options for this. No, I don't, apparently. Okay. I would like to array those, please. It's kind of silly. Okay, put some ports on here. Alright, now, normally, what I have been doing, I would put an engine plate at the back, a small amount of fuel, so one of these guys. Okay. An engine plate. Make it a quad +1. Spark engines. And usually I put an emergency hatch in the back. Not exactly an emergency hatch, but emergency docking port, I guess, is what I'm looking for. So something like that. Docking port. Okay. Need some way to control this thing, don't I? So let's take that out. Let's instead put a regular service bay on this. We'll use a hex core. And put batteries in there with it. It's not very heavy. I'll think of how I want to do this. Give it extra batteries. Give it one of these inline stabilizers right here. Okay, now here's where things are going to get kind of weird. Because with this, Let's go to structural. Grab one of these guys. Now, let's do... Let's do the engine plate version. So another engine plate. This time cluster node is going to be set to double. Yeah, that should look just fine. Alright, we're going to put some big old trusses on. Some more docking nodes. Some massive solar panels. Basically at this point, just because I can. Now, how long is the node for this? Or do I need to shorten this? I need to shorten it by a lot, apparently. So let's just have it be a single unit then. There, that would do. Now I'd be able to attach to the bottom here. Okay. I'm gonna need to do attach that to the top. T12 decoupler in reverse. And then let's plan to orbit this sucker. Alright. This is still actually not that heavy. Something that I find totally amazing. We now need to put a ridiculous sized fairing on top of this. Make this actually work. I need to put an antenna on this somewhere too, don't I? So I have not done that. So let's, on the belly of it maybe, put a, yeah, right down here, let's put an antenna. don't need more than the one. Down on this side. Single fuel cell. Just in case. Yep, this is crazy. This is one of the more crazy things I've done, for sure. I do need a lot of effort to orbit the booster we're going to be using. Let's go with 6. You know what? Just tucking them in behind the fairing, I think should be fine. Aerodynamically, I think that's going to be okay. Okay, so now we got this monstrosity. Which weighs about 18 tons. And I believe I no longer have an 18-ton launcher. Decurion 2. Oh, yeah, the base Decurion 2. I've never flown this. I'm not confident that it can launch that much. It's also now too high. It's too tall. For our vehicle assembly building. I think that is literally just because of how high I've pumped this up. Maybe that is literally part of it. Nope. Nope, it's not at all what it is. Okay. So it's too tall. Using this guy. Can we cut any weight out anywhere? Well, I guess this can get itself to orbit. It can complete its own orbit. Huh. I was thinking a Centurion Heavy. Wouldn't hit the height limit. It is only a 17-ton launcher, though. So it would be underpowered. And you're going to be doing an unusual launch profile here. Let's take a Decurion dual booster. Use a shorter second stage. Can I use something shorter than the J2? Or can I compress something here? Compress the fairing. Can I make that any shorter? Yes, okay. So we got a shorter second stage. We have boosters on this one. Try and help it along. This might work. I'm going to try and put this into a polar inclination. And try and have a polar base. A polar station. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word. That's the word, Steve. We don't need to launch any pilots with it because the pilots are going to get launched up on an Arcturus. Alright, so it's just a staging fix. Towers. I said towers. And the boosters. And the main engine. Booster separate. Fairing separates. Second stage separates and fires. This has no separator on it. Alright, I'll have to fix that. Which, if I need to do a separator anyway, it's another great place to actually compress this. Edit that fairing. Don't need that structural tube to be so long. The thinger. Somehow I just made it longer. Okay. So those 6 go with this one. And those engines fire. Don't really need to worry about these ones, I don't think. This one I do. And these ones I'm going to probably just do manually. Okay. Oop, station 2. Let's just see what happens. Set us up with a sort of polar station. Sorry, 2 booster version of the Tacurian. Ready to cut those boosters off. Alright. Now turning northward. Check on our apogee. Okay, we can kind of start leveling out a little bit. I'm quite fast for the lower atmosphere, so it is kind of going to hurt us just a little. There we go. Now we want to level out the rest of the way. Yeah, see, we got a very high apogee. We don't need that. Okay, we're at a safe altitude. We can drop the fairing. Second stage can fire. We're just going to aim down, kind of steep. Try and keep this apogee down. Work on our perigee is the more important thing. Oh, shoot. I forgot the piece to add the extra 2 Kerbal capacity to this. It's alright. It's not too bad. It's not too bad a thing. Okay, now we can ride this out a little closer to apogee. Just get ourselves to orbit. This is going to be a 41-second burn. It's lined up. About 20 seconds away, 22 seconds away. I'll go ahead and fire. There we go. Orbit. Fairly circular orbit as well. Alright. Actually looking pretty good. I'm just going to extend one of these now. Let's make sure we get some power to this consistently. Okay. So that's not what we wanted to do. Like at all. See how fast I can do some follow-up station launches here. So now I just need to get 2 more crew capacity worth on the station, which is pretty minor. Could use a passenger module. That might be what I do. Yeah, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Got it. Oh, exactly what to do. It's gonna give us just a little more than we need. Oh, this would actually be pretty cool too. Unnecessary. Yeah, definitely unnecessary. So, let's see. We want an 18 engine plate because we don't want to go too crazy here. We want a double cluster node. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? We're going to need to go with a 25 engine plate. Already. Complications. So, flip that right side up. Make it a double. Let's put 2 crew cabins on there with some basic decouplers. Okay, so throw the decouplers on. Throw the docking ports on. Or, oh ho ho. What other ones do I have? Some simple docking adapters. It's a little excessive. Let's not go with that one. This. Okay, yep, that's fine. I'm okay with this. Okay, now what we need. What do I need? Need some way to get this sucker on here. So let's put a small, you know what, let's not even do that. Let's put a small one of these on here. This is way, okay, yeah, 4 tons. Still need a core. Just an octo for this one. Smaller reaction wheel. Some batteries. And we need some monoprop. This just opens up a whole other problem. I think I got it. Think I got it. So this should be in the range of the Optio, probably. I just use a Decanus 1. Yeah, because it becomes a 7-ton payload with the fairing. So yeah, it would be the Decanus we want to use. Okay, I have to angle that a little bit. Alright, so we want boosters, main engine, the vectoring engines, towers to all fire at the same time. Then we would need the fairing most likely to kick off after the boosters separate. Then we want second stage separation with second stage engine, which I just realized I'm being wasteful here. Let's not use the Decanus. Oh no, that was right. Decanus heavy, I don't have it set up to use the economy engine. Okay, that's fine. Refix that. As I said, the main engine, the towers, the two steering thrusters, the two boosters, those go on their own stage. Then the boosters separate. Then the fairing separates. Then second stage separates and fires. Okay. That should do. This is gonna have people in it. This is gonna totally have people in it, isn't it? If there's no Kermit in it, I'm happy. Don't put Kermit in it. Don't you put Kermit in it. No Kermit, please. Okay, no Kermit. Good. Alright. So we're going to have to wait for Station 2 to come around. Which is going to be really difficult because we have to be on the correct... Okay. Okay, let's just launch it now. Screw it. I forgot to rotate this properly as well. Run a little roll program there. Get us aiming the right way. So ride the solids up to about 10,000 meters. And we pitch north with both of our vectoring engines. That was why we needed to roll. So our vectoring engines would have the optimal gimbaling capability for what we're trying to accomplish. Alright, looking good. Level out just a little more. Ditch the fairing now. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. That looks really good. Let's separate off. First aiming exactly horizontal here. Our second stage. Much better. Extend our solar panels. Now that we're at a safe altitude to do so. Can stop trying to drive this inclination change as part of our burn. Alright, so now the only thing really to worry about is getting up to orbital velocity. We're going to keep a nice low orbit underneath the station and hope to catch up to it. I might have to actually pitch up a little bit. We're getting quite close to our apogee. Though we are also getting quite close to orbital velocity. I think we're going to be alright. Perfect. So a nice low orbit compared to the station. We are going to have to fix our inclination. So we're going to have to set that as our target and do that once we get there. So that's going to be right here. Did I just have an encounter out of that? No. No, it did not. That is a horrible excuse for an encounter. So, fix our inclination first. Okay. As part of that, we need to do a retrograde, just to keep our orbit from blowing up as part of that. So a retrograde burn to accompany it. Good. Good, good. Okay. So we're going to have a 17-second burn. So about 9 seconds away from the maneuver node, I'm going to start burning. Just going to time warp a little bit into that position. It's going to be more reminiscent of my 2014 station building. It's going to be fairly intricate. A little bit of correction. Overdid it. It's fine. Looks like we are good. We are on the correct inclination for the station, and we are also at a good enough altitude that we will catch up to it fairly soon. Start looking at where we'd want to do a rendezvous burn. It's going to be an orbit or two. One of the things I can do, speed this up a little bit, is actually raise the orbit of the station, which I was intending to do anyway. So, prograde. It's a shame because this is such a circular orbit. So let's see. Jebediah Kerman Station goes at 136,000 meters roughly. Let's go for 120. $110 maybe, just to give it some safety room. Circularize the orbit once we get there. And see the updated parts here are very much on their way. I should be catching up pretty soon. Alright, so now monitor the variaps to about 110. Okay, very good. Switch back to the other craft. Okay. Oh, I'd like to destroy that node now, thank you. Okay, so we still got a little while till our rendezvous maneuver is going to make any sense at all. Should be on next orbit. And I need to start installing components. Which I was going to do with the crew capsule, but if I already have to send up more parts because I forgot something, then I might as well just go ahead and bite the bullet. Do it with the same craft. A little bit more time warp. Just finding the exact spot we want to do this burn. So it's a little bit in terms of the timing of it, and some of it is I need to just give it a little more oomph. There's actually a pretty good intersect. That would do it. Alright, and there would be a very good intersect. So, now we just need to warp around for that maneuver. It'll be only a 2-second burn. And we'll do some space station construction. Let's get this pointed at the maneuver node here. Only a 2-second burn, so 1 second away from the maneuver. I'm going to hit full throttle. Okay. That gives us a real intersect of 0.3. Still pretty good, actually. So we're going to warp around to that point. Of course, I didn't put a hex core on this. That would have been too smart. I would have been able to aim retrograde the target much easier. That's alright. So we just want a node placed here to know where our closest intersect is. I should be able to eyeball it though. We want to flip around, so we're aiming retrograde to target. I don't know why I even bothered to put that node there. Didn't really need it. Just gonna try and eyeball it. Okay, let's just aim directly at it now. Try to close the distance relatively fast. Okay. That part's not bad. See if I can just continue to ace this without any monoprop, although I'm not proving myself at the moment. Who needs monoprop to dock? Amateur stuff. Might be able to just throw one of these really right on that dock. So I do need this to actually be a little off in order for it to be right, as messed up as that is. Because I've got two of these things to load on, so they're not perfectly centered. I mean, it's gonna be the bottom one. Don't waste my monoprop, please. Okay. Good, we've stabilized, looks like. Alright. So SAS is at least on with this guy. Don't bump anything. Where's the retrograde? Retrograde to target. Where is it? It's not showing on this thing. Okay, apparently I'm just not going far enough away from it quickly enough to register. Okay, good enough. Okay, now this guy. We rotate. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. We can do this. Shoot. Getting all discombobbled. Okay, very good. Got it. Even though it was a little dodgy, we got it. I just realized now that this thing's going to be in the way unless I leave that there, so I'm going to just have to do that. Okay. Which one of these is going to give me undock? A couple node. There we go. So I'll come back for that. For a solar panel array, I'm going to go for that. Solar panel truss section. Actually, still have a lot of monoprop. I'm barely using it. Oop. Say that and then I goof up so bad that I need to use a bunch of monoprop. There we go. Okay. Alright. We are fine. Now this time I gotta be a little more precise, so I am using the monoprop. Sure I don't hit a solar panel while I'm trying to load solar panels, because that would be bad. It's like a ballet. Not that I know anything about that, but I assume that's correct. Because that's what everyone says. Okay. Okay, much easier to read the pro grade. Very good. Okay. First solar panel truss section installed as intended. All right. While that separates, we're going to retract these solar panels. I'm going to extend this one just to make sure we have some solar while we're doing these maneuvers. Put the other truss on the other side. There we go. You're totally the wrong orientation. Okay. That one was a little clumsier, to say the least. Still a lot of monoprop. Okay. Looking good there. Other way. Whoop. I'm screwing this up bad. Okay. That should be better. That looks much better. Okay, very good. Alright, now we have ability to extend all our solar panels. I'm not going to extend the other two for just a second while we do one important thing. We're going to control from here. I'm going to point us prograde. Or retrograde, sorry. Other way around. Because this little guy is going to deorbit itself. The little top section, I mean. This little piece. So we're aiming retrograde. So that was scary. There it goes. Off to deorbit. Very good. That should be oh yeah, that's deorbiting fast. That's cool. Alright, now we need to get this thing out of there. We no longer need that. And this is just doing all kinds of weirdness. Alright. Just need to redock with this plate. Alright, I'm going to collect that to deorbit that as well and deorbit this vehicle. Since this was really just meant for the the purpose of building the station. Which is basically done. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Kerman capacity. We have a vehicle that launches 3 Kerman at a time, which is what we're going to be using. So the first crew we send up here will complete the station's contract. We'll get our money back for this little endeavor. Probably, and then some. I'm going to just quickly disable the... Boop. Disable that reaction wheel. See if that helps the wiggling a little bit. I can now extend these other 2 solar panels. That's a pretty cool looking station. Once this ugly plate is out of the way. I'm going to transfer any fuel that I can into the station itself. I don't think the station has any kind of monoprop. I don't believe I put any in there at all, which was intentional. It has a little bit just now in these 2 sections. So I'm just going to make sure that both these get refueled as much as possible. Didn't even think about that. We were siphoning monoprop off of those. And then I can make sure that both these get fully fueled. Although it looks like they both are. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it looks like that's it. Unless there's... it has some monopropellant. Yep. I think that's the whole shebang. So now the only thing left to do, this little vehicle goes and deorbits itself. Re-enable the torque. Yeah, I could have gotten away with a lot less fuel. Alright, that vehicle's going to go destroy itself in the atmosphere. And that'll be it for the night, I think. Our new station, I have to just quickly identify as a station. It self-identifies as a capsule. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. We'll launch a crew up tomorrow. That'll close out the station contract, which was a very basic one. Just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything here before I go and do a launch tomorrow. Yeah, all we need to do is send 2 pilots up on an Actaris. Probably we could put like a scientist up there, just because. Maybe an engineer. But yeah, that'll close it all out. So we've got 2 docking ports for crew, top and bottom, with EVA hatches even. And we got 2 truss segments that we're going to be able to expand upon if we want to expand upon those, should we ever need to. But yeah, probably this station's like never going to get used. I very much suspect the station is going to almost never get used at all. And that's just what happens when you have a already massive, awesome station in service. But that wasn't bad. Wasn't bad for a single stream's worth of construction. And on only 2 rockets, that was pretty good. Could have easily done that in 1 if I had just planned it properly. Where is it? Rename, there we go. So Station 2, I'm just going to name it that for now. I'll come up with a name for it later. Maybe we can push it out to like Ike's moon, or the Ike's moon, wow. Duna's moon, Ike. Wow. Oh, bit of a Freudian slip there. Anyway, I'm clearly getting tired. I've run the stream about an hour later than usual, so that's just how it goes. So, if you want to see more, though, if you don't want the goodness to end, or if you like laughing about how terrible I am at this game is actually part of the reality, you can check it out at the link at the bottom, youtube.com/dudeicalledyoubro. That has all our previous streams on it. There's, I think, just the last 2 still need to be uploaded. I'm pretty good about keeping up with those. If you want to see our newest content, you'll be able to check us out pretty much every night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, from night you can see I run late more often than not. And with all that being said, the only thing left to say is thanks for watching and have a good night.